All right. So in the last video, we talk about any type of cloth coverings. So now let's check what other things out there that could use. So last time I told you, like in the first video of this, I told you that I bought a supposed 3-ply surgical mask that actually didn't work, right? But again, I didn't buy this recently. I bought this like before this pandemic thing went out, right? So like I told you, this one didn't pass the test, so let's test it out. Right. There we go. So right, but if good thing I didn't pay like a lot of money for this. It's way back when. But if to make sure that this would work better, again, if this is all you're left with, then that's fine. For this particular one, I could just put a piece of tissue and actually have it work better. There we go. So again, it's not about like how many pieces that you actually have, but whether or not air could easily go through. I mean, in correlation, that means the droplets or particulates could go through, right? Okay, so here I have a cloth mask. All right. This is a different one, and this one is actually using a better fabric than the one I showed you before. So as you can see, right, it seems like it's way better. And they, in a way, it's 2-ply. They actually fold it to one another, right? But there's a reason why there's a pocket here, which I will show you later. Right? So you see, even the 2-ply doesn't really work. So again, this is a better fabric than the one I had before. So I'm gonna add like just one tissue folded over like this, right? Like the one that I just used for the non-working surgical mask. It works a hell of a lot better, right? So I told you what like this pocket is for. This pocket is actually made so you could actually just put tissue in it so it doesn't fall off every time. I mean, I don't like to use the pocket that much. I'll show you why later on when I do this. So all right, what I'm going to do this is going to switch over and I'll show you how to put the tissue in this mask. And for this demonstration, I actually put 2 pieces instead of just one. All right, so let's switch over. All right, now we have the cloth mask with the tissue in it. I put 2 pieces of tissue in there. So one advantage is, yeah, it doesn't fall around like that, right? But as you could see, it's actually a pain to put in, and you know, and you actually have direct contact with the cloth here. So the advantage of putting tissue over here is that your breath doesn't get into direct contact with the cloth. So you could just change tissue anytime you want, because your mouth is in direct contact with the tissue. All the droplets, all your bad breath, everything goes into the tissue, and you could just take it out. With this one, you have to, no, I mean you have to, but I mean your breath actually goes directly to that cloth. And even if you change the tissue inside, it still stinks there, right? But anyway, let's test this. This is the disadvantage of an ear loop one. Works. I mean, I put 2 pieces of tissue there. You know, even one piece actually works, but I mean the tissue is actually 2-ply. So again, it's not the type of how many layers you put in, but it also depends on the type of fabric that you have. So if you have a really good fabric, you don't have to put in that much. Okay, so I have another demonstration here on. Now I'm using what's it called? Kitchen towel, a kitchen hand towel or something. This one has a very thicker material compared to my old bandana. So let's see if this works on its own. All right. So I'm folding it the way I did with the bandana, just so I'm actually, so what is it? 4-fold then, right? So see, you can still blow it out. You can still blow the fire out. Let's do it a bit. I don't know. You can, as you can see, you do still be able to blow the fire out. But I'm going to again enhance this just with a single tissue paper, 2-ply. Again, this one. This is the same bad tissue that I used for the bandana, but the one that I used for the bandana is I used 5 of these until the air could actually be like slowed down so it doesn't blow the fire out. So this time I'm just going to use 1. So let's test it. Will it work? I actually tested this before and it worked, but again, you have to test and test again whether it really works, whether the first time you tested was a fluke, right? So let's test this out. Oops. So I guess the previous test was a fluke. So I guess 1 tissue paper is not enough. So I'm gonna add another one. So let's just use 2. Right. So let me just pause this a bit and let me just put the 2-ply there. Hey, so let's start. I put 2 pieces of tissue there. So let's see if this one works. If not, we'll just keep adding more and more until it does. Still doesn't work. Well, I thought it would work, but apparently it doesn't. So let's add another one. Alright, so I have put in additional pieces of tissues there. So now there's 3. Alright, as you see, I mean the air still comes through a bit, but not enough to blow this out. So again, every time you do this, you just need to test your fabric and how many layers you have to put until the air barely comes through, right? I mean, if it doesn't come through at all, it'll be pretty hard for you to breathe. Might as well use a plastic bag around your face. So it would work, but apparently it was not as better as the bandana I had. I thought it would be because it's a thicker material, but instead of just using 3 pieces of tissue, instead of using 5 pieces of tissues, I only used 3 on this. So it's something. But basically, just to conclude this, any type of fabric is fine. You can actually enhance it in a number of ways. Tissue is good because it's still porous, you can still breathe, but it also adds that extra layer. Not a lot of air could go through, not a lot of droplets could go through. So again, stay safe, be well, and whatever you're going through out there, keep at it, and hope we all go through this. Well, I wouldn't say without a hitch, but I mean, I hope we all go through this quite well. Thank you.